Laura was working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And her coworkers, after getting emails from her at horrible times of the day, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, said, Laura, you need to get a hobby. You need to do something outside of work. She had always loved horses, had never owned one, but she had always loved them. And she decided, well, maybe I'll look for a horse that I could call my own, and that would get her out of the office. And she found an off-the-track saddlebred, a trotter. You know what those horses are? They pull carts and they trot real fast in races. And his racing name was Reality's Place. Hence our name. Reality's Chance Rescue and Sanctuary was named after him. So that's how we came about. So Laura had Reality. This property came up for sale, and at the time it came up for sale, it only had the house, which is, you'll see it when we walk down here, and the little barn up front. The rest of this was all empty. So what isn't fenced in, we grow alfalfa hay, and as soon as you start putting up fences, it's amazing how quickly people go, can you take my horse? And it turned into this, people needing a place for their horse to go for whatever reason. And so it was actually not till, I believe, 2014 that she actually became a nonprofit. Okay. And when it turned into a horse rescue. Now you will see other animals here, but Laura's life partner, Kevin, is also into animals. But you'll see a couple donkeys, you'll see some turkeys, you'll see some guinea hens. We have Mr. and Mrs. Peacock, chickens, ducks. We have 2 goats. Those are all Kevin. And maybe we'll get to see them. Sometimes when it's cold and windy like this, they stay inside their little huts. But
so is this like a horse rescue to keep them from going to auction?
Yes,
or
Laura's
Mustang?
main goal is to keep them out of that pipeline. Mm-hmm. So if people reach out to her, if we can't take them, then she networks to try and find someplace that can, so that they don't wind up at auction.
Okay.
Because in a lot of cases, when people are reaching out, it's a horse with an issue, it's a horse that's older. It's rare that we get a horse that is like this prime riding horse, right? Mm-hmm. They aren't the ones that usually get sent to auction. I would say she's probably rehomed as many horses by networking as she has off the property, if not more.
Wow.
Where we haven't had room or we couldn't take them for whatever reason, but she's thrown it out there into the interweb world. Mm-hmm. So they were able to go directly from the home they were used to a new home, which is phenomenal. I mean, she has an affinity for Mustangs. And we still have the original Mustang that she adopted personally on the property.
Okay.
He's kind of our Mustang ambassador. He's the goodest of good boys. So we have a paint on the property. We have quite a few Mustangs on the property. And when I say Mustang, I am talking about horses that were feral. There are many different kinds of Mustangs. Mustang just really means feral. It's a Spanish word for feral. And we have horses that came from the BLM, which is the Bureau of Land Management. They're the ones who round them up out west.
Okay.
And bring them in and put them in holding facilities and put them up for adoption. But we also have Mustangs that came from another rescue that took in horses that were on, say, forestry land or wild in other areas of the country, not rounded up by the Bureau of Land Management, but they were elsewhere. And we have some of those horses as well here on the property. So the way you can tell the difference is the Bureau of Land Management will freeze brand the neck of any Mustang that they round up and bring into holding, and that's usually the difference you see We have some that I would call a Mustang, but they're not going to have that neck brand. Shortly after Laura bought the property, this arena went up, and she hired Kevin to put up this little arena and the little shop over here. Obviously, more fencing went up along the way. Things just kind of organically grew. So the next building to go up was the hay barn, which you see straight across here. This is where we store all of our hay. So a lot of times we will, in the wintertime, we will put in big round bales of hay so that they can eat whenever they're hungry, or we will go out and feed multiple times throughout the day so that they can stay warm. We do have a few stalls in that barn. Laura does not believe in stalling horses 24/7. That's not how she operates. They need to be out. They need to be with a herd of sorts, whether that's just 2 or 3 or 4 of them together. We will stall horses for medical reasons. We've had some come in that are in their 30s. They just don't grow a winter coat like they used to, so we will bring them in to get them out of the weather and out of the wind. So it depends on the horse, but she really tries hard not to. Occasionally you will see a blanket on some of the horses out here, and that's usually because they can't grow a heavy enough winter coat anymore for whatever reason, whether it's medical or they're just old and it just doesn't grow anymore. So that's how that works. You want to meet some horses?
Yeah.
Aren't they beautiful horses, Maya?
It's because of Badger, that's why they did that. Donkeys instinctually do not like canines of any kind. And they have been known to actually take on and kill coyotes. And so a lot of people will have donkeys in their big pastures as kind of like watchdogs. Now, the little white guy, his name is Tiny. He's a mini donkey. And the other donk, his name is Fluffy.